Hello there, guitar players. Hello. What do we have for you today? Right, well, today what we have for you is a guitar solo using modes. Okay, this lesson's really designed for people who can play majors and minor scales, you minor pentatonics, and you're looking to push on, use more scales. Okay, the scales we're going to be using today are the Dorian mode. We are then going to use the whole tone scale, the Lydian mode, and then the Lydian dominant. So I'm going to play the lick for you. Okay, and then we're going to break it down into sections and learn why it works, how it works, and how you can use it in your own playing. See you in a sec. Right guys, that was the lyrics. Okay, break it down. The chord sequence I'm using for this is D minor, C augmented, F and B7. I'm playing them all as power chords just to keep it simple. Okay, right, now over the D minor I'm using D Dorian. Okay, now the D Dorian scale is a bit of a blues jazzy scale. Okay, I know it's a bit difficult to see these webcams, but basically it goes in on D, 10, 12, 13 on the E string, 10, 12, 14 on the A, same on the D, same on the G, okay, on the B string, 12, 13, 15, and the same again on the next string. Okay, alright. Now the Dorian mode is really cool, I use it a lot, and it's used a lot in blues jazz. It's starting to get good in progressive rock bands as well, like Opeth, things like that. So if you like that kind of stuff, this scale's for you. Now the lick I'm playing is actually deceptively simple. Okay, all these licks, apart from the last one, are actually quite simple. They just play quite fast. So you don't have to play it that fast to use them. And basically, I'm going from the 12th fret of the B string, and I'm going 12, 13, 15, and on the E string, 12, 13, 12. So that's okay, like that so far. And then I go back 15, 13 on the B, so that's okay so far. And then I'm repeating it, so I'm stopping on the 12, okay, and then I'm going to do something called an enclosure. It's a jazz thing. You don't have to put it in. I've just put it in because I like it. Okay, which is 16, 14, 15, 12. That's all on the E string. So far 16, 14, 15, 12. Okay, so that's and then I'm going 15, 13 on the B, 12 on the E, 15, 13, 12 on the B, okay, 14, 12, 10 on the G, and 12, 11, 10 on the D. So you can see by using the enclosure, I'm putting some chromatic notes again. You don't have to, okay, I just like it, okay, and no matter how complicated things get or how annoying things get for you, you should always go with your ears. So if you kind of like that kind of thing, then use it. Okay, it doesn't matter. So the lick should sound like that. Right, second lick. Okay, over C augmented. Now we're going to use the whole tone scale over this one. Okay, the whole tone scale is just basically what it says. It's just all tones. There's nothing else but tones. There are other scales you can use over this. But the whole tone's sort of the simplest to get your head around, so it's a good place to start. Right, now the whole tone scale, you can play it quite a few different ways, but basically the easiest way to play it on C, okay, so 8th fret of your E string, is go 8, 10, 12, move up a fret on the next string, 9, 11, 13, move up a fret, move up a fret, Okay, on the B string you move up 2 frets, so that's 13, 15, 17. And then on the next one it's, yes, sorry, lost myself, 14, 16, 18. Okay, and that's the whole tone scale. And to begin the lick I'm going to play a C sharp 5 arpeggio, which goes 10 on the D, 14 on the D, and then 13, 13 on the G, and then the B. So that's okay. Right, now my pick in here is down, hammer, down, down. So it's sweeping picking. Right, now once I get to the 13th fret of the B string, I'm going to play a very similar lick to what I did on the Dorian mode. Again, let's just keep things simple when we're doing this kind of stuff. So 13, 15, 17, all on the B. 14, 16, 14 on the E. And then back on the B, 17, 15, 13. So that's 13, 15, 17, 14, 16 on the E, 14 again, back, 17, 15, 13. Right, okay, I'm going to repeat it twice, like that, okay. Okay, right, then I'm going to go back to the G string, and I'm going to play 15, 13, 11, and then 14 slide to 15 on the D. Excuse my dead note, I need to change strings. So that is, okay, it's a really, really simple lick using the whole tone scale, quite an aggressive sound, and it's really, really cool. The whole tone scale is really, really nice. I personally don't use it a huge amount, but it's simple, and if you're going to get out of your major minor scales and into your modes, simple's good, trust me. Right, okay, next lick. Over the F chord we're playing Lydian. Okay, Lydian's cool, use Lydian a lot, really strange, dreamy kind of sound. Steve I uses it all the time, for example, so if you like Steve I, this is definitely for you. Okay, right, now the Lydian mode, on F, which is 13th fret of the E string, okay, goes, fine, goes 13, 15, 17, okay, next string, 14, 15, 17, same on the next, so we're on the D string now, 14, 15, 17, next string, 14, 16, 17, next string, 15, 17, 18, and finally on the E string, 15, 17, 19. Okay? It's cool because it's got a sharpened fourth in it. It sounds a bit unfinished and dreamlike. I'm a horror film fan, okay? And if you've ever seen a horror film with a dream sequence in it, like a Nightmare on Elm Street type thing, the dream sequence is very Lydian almost because it's very dreamlike scale. I use it all the time. Okay, the lick that we're playing here is patterns. Okay, I know patterns keep coming up, but it's a great way of getting into a new scale using sweep picking. Okay, now this one's a little tricky. You might want to practice this a bit. So let's do the first bit. Okay, starting on the first note, 13th fret of the E string. Okay, you're going to go 13, 17 on the E. Now I go down hammer. Okay, 15 on the next, 14 on the next. So that's 13, 17, 15, 14. Now, that's really difficult to do to keep this pattern moving because on the next pattern, which starts on the A string, we go 14, 17 on the A, 15, 14 on the next two strings, 15 on the D, 14 on the G. Now that's up, down, down, down. Okay, so far. Okay, third pattern starts on the D string on the 14th fret, 14, 17 on the D, 15 on the G. I lied to you, 16 on the G. And 15 on the B, so that's, I'll start that one again, sorry. That was 14, 17 on the D, 16 on the G, 15 on the B. Next pattern starts on the G string, 14th fret. 14, 17 on the G, 17 on the B, and then 15 on the E string. Right? Now if you need to pause this and play it back to get all the licks that you need and remember it, one thing that might help you is print out some tab or something, and as I'm saying the frets, just jot them down. Works for me. So I'll just play that through. Right, now all I'm doing after that is improvising on the scale, so please bear in mind I'm giving you the main lick that I've done. I'm not giving you anything else, okay? You can then use the scale to improvise yourself, come up with new stuff, whatever. Okay. And the last one's on its way. Okay, last lick of a B7, we're playing the Lydian dominant scale. Okay, very strange one. On the E string, 7, 9, 11. On the A string, 8, 9, 11. On the D string, 7, 9, 11. On the G string, 8, 10, 11. On the B string, 9, 10, 12. On the E string, 9, 11, 13. There we are. Okay, Lydian dominant. Really cool scale, and the problem here is we're going to be doing a scale run in 4s using economic picking. So if I've got the first 4 notes of the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to play those. Then I'm going to play 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so going through the scale mathematically. Now the picking is very difficult here, so what I'm going to do first is go through the notes. You can jot them down on the tab, and then I'm going to go through the picking, okay? On the D string, 7th fret, 7, 9, 11, 8 on the next string. Next bit, 9, 11 on the D, 8, 10 on the G. 11 on the D, 8, 10, 11 on the G. 8, 10, 11 on the G again, 9 on the B. 10, 11 on the G, 9, 10 on the B. 11 on the G, 9, 10, 12 on the B. 9, 10, 12 on the B, 9 on the E, and that's that. Now the picking's really tricky because what you've got to do is sweep if you can sweep. So if you're on the D string playing the 11th fret and your next note is on the G string, if you're going down on the D, you should be going down on the G. And if you're playing an upstroke on the B string and your next note is on the G, you should be sweeping up. Okay? Now that means that your picking is going to be down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, up again, down, up, down, and then down. It's very hard to get, it's very tricky. It took me a long time to practice that and get that right. The final part is a hybrid pick piece. Now for those of you who haven't done hybrid picking before, hybrid picking is where you use your pick, but you also use one of your fingers to pick a string as well. Now in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to play a B7 arpeggio and add string skipping in using our other fingers. Starts on the 11th fret of the E, and you go 11, 7 on the E, 7 on the B, 8 on the G. Down, up, up, up. Then I'm going to go back to the 7th fret of the E. I'm going to use my 3rd finger to pick that string. Like that. Now the picking's the same for the next part, which is 10, 7 on the B, 8 on the G, and 9 on the D. back to the 7 of the B with the hybrid pick in, and then back to the D. 9th fret of the D. Okay, and the last bit is just a played little bit of the lick, which is 8 on the G, 9, 7 on the D, 8 on the A, 7, 8, 9 on the D, and that's the lick done, all finished. Okay. Now, when you're playing through all these licks, please remember the whole point is to go through the modes and learn the modes. So practice the scales a lot, metronome the licks, and everything will be fine. Please come up with your own things. I will be putting a backing track online using the chord sequence of D minor, C augmented, F, and B7. You could use other scales if you wanted. You can use the licks. You can make up your own licks. Please do what you want. If you've got any questions, please find me on Facebook, Ben Watson Guitar Tuition. Okay, I will be putting up a link to my website when it's finally done, when it's actually finished. Okay, enjoy the licks. Hope you have fun. Good night.